want is right here. We gon' give them what they came for. We gon' take it up from last year. Shoot on my shot, boy, I'm long range. Me and the team on the same thing. Stayed down, never switched up. Only thing changed was the game. I'm in the zone now. Nothing can change what we on now. When I pull up, know it's going down. Foot on the gas, ain't no slowing down. Aiming for greatness, no settling. Kick down the doors, they won't let me in. Taking no else, yeah, I gotta win. Watch me kick down the doors, they won't let me in. Who running the game now? Foot on the gas, can slow down. No, my team, we holding it down. We know we running it now. Watch the game change. Watch the game change. Watch the game change. Watch the game change.
Welcome to another edition of the It's Cavalier podcast. It's your boy Mac, and tonight our Cleveland Cavaliers took on the Jaylen Brown-led Boston Celtics in the comfort and confines of Rocket Arena in another outing in which they donned the beautiful classic unis. I love those things, you guys. I know that there are a lot of people out there that are having a very, very rough go of it with this team. It's been disappointing at times, and I find myself being rather frustrated and disappointed with this team to begin the season. But at least the classic unis give me something, a bright spot to look forward to in these games, even if it is surface level. I wish it was their main uniform, but alas, I needed every positive bit of news and vibes entering this one, considering that the Thanksgiving break is winding down and the injury news that was thrown at us in the hours leading up to this contest. If you somehow missed it, Cleveland announced the following, and that is that Cleveland forward Larry Nance Jr. injured his right calf during Friday night's game in Atlanta in an MRI on Saturday. Cleveland Clinic Sports Health revealed a grade 1 to Lewis strain. Nance Jr. will begin treatment and is expected to miss approximately 3 to 4 weeks. Cavaliers center Jarrett Allen will be listed as out. He was out tonight, obviously, with that right finger strain, and he previously missed the 3 consecutive games with the injury before playing in Friday's game in Atlanta on October 29th. Allen sustained a non-displaced fracture in his left ring finger and missed the Cavaliers' next 2 games and will miss approximately 1 week, and his return to play will be updated as appropriate. And last but not least, Cavaliers guard Sam Merrill remains out after injuring his right hand on November 17th versus Milwaukee. Merrill has missed the last 5 games and is considered, make that 6, has been considered day to day. His return to play will be updated as appropriate as well. So to make a long story short, the injury woes and blows continue to come. You hate to see it, but on the bright side, it does allow for more developmental opportunities for the likes of Jaylon Tyson, Nick Tomlin, Tyrese Proctor, and others, which is a good thing, in my opinion, believe it or not. What wasn't so bright was Payton Pritchard and the Boston Celtics getting off to the start that they did, which prompted a quick timeout by Kenny Atkinson. Now, guys, I took down the game notes. I scripted it all out. And you know what? I just don't know if I can bring myself to go through it. Tonight, Payton Pritchard went off against the Cleveland Cavaliers. He scored 8 of those first 13 points for Boston. And the man is averaging, I think, a career best 17 points per outing coming into this one. He pulled up, he stepped back, he drilled catch and shoot trays. He was hitting from the mid-range. He was drawing foul calls. He was just torching Cleveland possession after possession, just the entirety of the game. And it just felt as if the Cavs had no real answer for him. In fact, to begin the game, it wasn't until DeAndre Hunter broke things up with a transition triple that Cleveland was able to start putting up some points and some offense getting put together out there. And that might actually be putting it nicely. Cleveland was able to get some good looks, especially with their dribble penetration and ball movement early on. They just couldn't get some of those shots to fall. Combine that with the fact that Boston's role players got whatever they wanted to, and you had the makings of a bad start. And if it wasn't for transition opportunities or points off of turnovers, the Cavs couldn't consistently keep pace with them to start this game. And the first real test was when Don went to the bench around the 6:30 mark in the first quarter. And DG, in my opinion, at least to begin the game, passed that test when he immediately got things going with a drive and kick triple to DeAndre Hunter, prompting a Boston timeout to cut that lead down to 11-17, which was a step in the right direction up to that point. And right after that, Boston responded with a made basket courtesy of Pritchard. Again, this dude was just cooking tonight. DG continued putting pressure on them, though, by drawing a three-point foul. And to me, Darius getting things going could change things big time for the Cavaliers. It could just change so much. And then when DG went to the bench, in came Craig Porter Jr., who made his return to the court, and Naquan Tomlin, who sparked a Cavs run alongside Spider Mitchell. CBJ and Tomlin were both very active on the glass tonight. In fact, Porter Jr. would end the first quarter alone with 2 points, 3 rebounds, an assist, a steal, and a field goal in just 5 minutes of action. And I love the energy that he was able to bring in the early going of this game. Same can be said of Naquan Tomlin out there. It just felt as if those two were giving their all out there. Mobley continued with his aggressiveness, pulling up from the mid-range area, driving to the rim at will. We'll talk about the third quarter, the massive third quarter that he had here in just a bit. Jaylon Tyson was key in getting them off to an 11-2 run as well. And we even got, again, some of those Tyrese Proctor minutes, and he made plays on both ends of the floor. And the triple early on during that first quarter was one thing that stood out big time to me. Also, I must say that the transition offense looked a lot better, especially in the first half of this game. The Cavaliers, in terms of transition points on the season, haven't actually fared all that well. But in this one tonight, especially in that first half, they were getting some good looks. There were countless examples of them getting those good looks out on the perimeter because they moved the ball with quick intent and decisiveness. Darius Garland's pull-up triple midway through the second was a perfect illustration of that, which prompted another Boston timeout. And I cannot say enough, when he eventually gets his shot going, I think it's going to help this team so much. Now, right after that, Payton Pritchard, guy I keep talking about, picked up his third foul, which was a big one, but he stayed on the floor. He got left on the floor. CBJ immediately attacked him after that, and he was so impactful in this game. But even with that being the case, Pritchard just continued to eat, drilling shot after shot to pull the Celtics ahead 49-46. But then DG tied the game up once more with a triple of his own. And that tie was broken up by a transition bucket by Mobley off of an outlet, a beautiful outlet by Spider Mitchell. But Brown and company would eventually go on a 9-0 run to end the first half, up 58-51, which was not the way you want to close things out and leaving a half. But just when things felt like they were trending in the wrong direction, Evan Mobley really kicked things into gear in that third quarter. He kicked things off entirely with a triple and would finish the third quarter scoring 15 huge points in that third frame. And listen, my biggest gripe in this game, is that the Boston Celtics, frankly, had no answer for Evan Mobley, and it felt like he just was not involved in the fourth. I don't know how you go from scoring, because at this point, Mobley, leaving the first quarter, he had 10. He scored 15 additional points. Leaving the first half, he had 10, and leaving the third quarter, the man had 25 points. So he put up 15 in the third. And after that, I just don't know how you don't continuously go at Boston with Mobley and just you continue to force feed Mobley the ball, because they did not have an answer for him. In fact, Mobley took just 3 shots in that fourth quarter after attempting, if I'm not mistaken, attempting 8 in the third, making 6 of those. I just don't understand it. I truly don't. It's one of those things that really has continued to piss me off. When things are going in a specific way, why are we going away from them? Why are we not attacking a team's interior defense when they don't have somebody out there that can truly stop Evan? I don't know. It gets me beside myself, because he was genuinely impressive through the first 3 quarters of this game, from start to finish, as Mobley would put up a very good stat line tonight of 27 points, 14 rebounds, 4 assists, and shot 11 of 17 from the field, including 3 of 6 from three-point distance. And a lot of those triples that were attempted, they were in rhythm, and the ones that he made, they were big. They were big in terms of getting the Cavaliers back into this one and keeping pace with a Boston Celtics team that was being absolutely that was being led by Payton Pritchard up to this point. It was disgusting to see them go away from Mobley in that fourth quarter. It really got to me. Seriously. I mean, this was his 9th double-double of this season and his 2nd straight 20-point performance. And you can see that he's starting to kind of break out a little bit of the slump that he has had to begin the season in terms of scoring. And he's really been ignored come key stretches, at least in my opinion. Now, there's still some of this shit out there that pisses me off, like the lackadaisical effort on specific possessions as it relates to rebounding. And I highlighted one of those that probably wasn't as much Evan's fault in the previous game against Atlanta as it was maybe DeAndre and Darius Garland's. But there's still possession to possession where, yeah, you can get a little bit upset about the effort. But Mobley, overall, if you look at the totality of the game, nah, man, this dude, they had no answer for him. They had no answer for him. So I don't know why they didn't continue to spam that and spam the opportunities that he was getting them. Now, it wasn't all it wasn't all Evan. It wasn't all Evan because there were other players who ended up stepping up in this one too. We'll talk about one in just a second. But to kick off that fourth quarter, to kick things off in the fourth quarter, Naquan Tomlin actually got things kicked off with a basket off of a beautiful cut to the rim, courtesy of Tyrese Proctor. And then Proctor, lo and behold, capped off a beautiful 23-6 run to pull it within 4 with he was contributing tonight. I say all that to say he was contributing. The momentum shift, however, got cut completely when Jordan Walsh out-muscled DeAndre Hunter for a rebound, which resulted in a foul on Donovan Mitchell. So he gets the free throws. And at that point, it just felt like the Cavaliers were consistently fighting an uphill battle. And in all honesty, it's because they were. It's just tough. Still, at that point in the game, it was a very, very winnable. It was a very, very winnable game. DG hit a pull-up jumper right after a pair of Jaylen Brown free throws that he missed, which cut the lead to 4 once more. And to that point, it felt like Jaylen Brown just got every single foul call in existence out there. It felt like he drew 100 shooting fouls tonight. And mind you, this is in a game in which he shot atrociously from the field, 3 of 13. And I get it, this is the second half or the second leg of a back-to-back for Boston. So maybe the energy, the legs just weren't there from Brown, who had a massive performance against the Timberwolves in that game. But though he didn't shoot well from the field, he got to the line at will. He took 16 free throws, made 12 of them, so that's 75% from the line. So that ended up resulting in Brown finishing with 19 points along with 12 rebounds and 11 assists. So this man had a triple-double. You hate to see it. And again, this is in a game where Payton Pritchard goes off for 40 plus. The Cavs just could not stop him on his dribble drives to the rim. He got every single foul call that he wanted. And honestly, I can't really say too much about that. He drew contact at will. So kudos to Jaylen Brown for being able to do that, even if it really pisses me off. And then Payton Pritchard drilled a 3 to put Boston up 9. And at that point, I was ready to turn my TV off as Boston was in the midst of a 7-0 run. It just felt like game over at that point. But something crazy happened, and Cavaliers were able to knock down some shots in succession. You got some really, really impactful minutes from Naquan Tomlin, who, although missed a free throw, was able to generate some extra opportunities for the Cavs out there. And they pulled it to within 2. And they even got an opportunity to tie this game or win it outright, as the score was 117-115 with about 0.6 seconds left on the clock. There's a timeout called, and they have an opportunity for the final possession to win this one. And Evan Mobley gets the final attempt, and it just didn't happen, man. Didn't happen. And again, you count that one attempt. And Mobley, I mean, that was a garbage attempt, honestly. It was just a last-second opportunity for him to tie the game up. And really, it boils down to Mobley getting 2 shot opportunities in the fourth quarter after taking 8 in the third. And you hate to see that. And I hate to harp on that so much, but it just feels as if the Cavaliers, they're they don't really have a game plan at points. Something is working and they go away from it. And yeah, I think that is something that is concerning, to be honest. It is frankly very, very concerning. I know the effort has been something we've been talking about all season long because it's been inconsistent. But I also think the Cavaliers are not doing themselves any favors in terms of going away from what's working in at a certain point in the game. You know, Evan Mobley certainly had it going on tonight. And there have been games where I felt like Mobley could have taken over and just wasn't given the opportunity to do so. There have been others when I feel like Mobley just shied away from that. But tonight, every single opportunity that the man got the ball in his hands, it felt as if he tried to make something happen with it and antagonize the interior of that defense and really knock down some timely and clutch shots from the perimeter too. And in the fourth, that just was non-existent. So that really pissed me off. But as I said, Mobley was not the only bright spot tonight. I genuinely was impressed by what I saw from the likes of Jaylon Tyson tonight. He continues to be a revelation for this Cavaliers team, probably one of the top 3 developments that we've gotten from this team as a whole. Yes, he shot 6 of 18 from the field tonight, including 5 of 12 from deep. But one thing that that was really impressive to me was the confidence. 12 triples. He shot 41.7% on those attempts. So he knocked down 5 of them and found himself with a stat line of 17 points, 5 rebounds, and assists, and 2 steals and 2 blocks. You can't really teach effort and hustle, and Tyson's one of those guys that's going to go out there and do that. He plays a very passionate brand of basketball, similar to what we see from Naquan Tomlin. But Tyson has been he has been very, very efficient in terms of that three-point shot. He's been a guy that you can consistently count on to knock down that left or right-hand corner triple when there's a drive and kick out there. And he did that time and time again tonight. When the Cavaliers needed a bucket to keep pace with Payton Pritchard out there on the opposite sideline, or they needed, frankly, somebody to kind of break up the malaise, Tyson was there to do his part. And I was genuinely impressed by what he did tonight, despite the overall inefficiency from the floor. Outside of that, I mean, I brought up Tomlin and Porter Jr. Those were very, very nice contributions you got from them. Tyrese Proctor, I believe, did his thing out there tonight with 8 points on 3 of 4 from the field, including 4 assists. But as a unit, this team still leaves a lot to be desired. It's another performance in which they get out-rebounded. I hate that I have to continue to bring that up. Yet another performance in which this team just, either inefficient from the line or just can't get there. They attempted 13 free throws tonight compared to Boston's 29. If NBA.com is telling the truth here, that's 69.2%. They just, I don't know, man. I don't even know what to say anymore about the free throws. I don't know what to say anymore about the rebounds because I would sound like a broken record. I just simply hate the fact that that we cannot consistently knock them down in terms of the charity stripe, and we can't consistently show effort and how much we actually want to pull down these rebounds. Because one of the things that really, really hurt the Cavaliers tonight was second chance opportunities. Boston was able to score 16 points off of offensive rebounds. So they got way too many second chance opportunities. Now, again, Cleveland outscored them in that regard, 18-16. But still, there were multiple possessions out there that I genuinely felt as if the Cavaliers just did not try hard enough to end the possessions. Hate it. Absolutely hate it. In terms of points in the paint, the Cavaliers probably could have dominated this one had they spammed the opportunities to Evan Mobley, just continue to force feed him the touches. And I'll be very, very interested to see what the numbers suggest for the touches in the fourth quarter of this game. But I just hate it, man. I hate the fact that we went away from what was working. That being the case, let's go ahead and hop into the chat. Fayeti says, I took Boston plus 7.5. Cavs playing terrible. Need to turn it around soon. Rap Guy Reloaded says, the Cavs are ninth in transition defensive rating so far. what I've noticed is the Cavs struggle to score in transition. They're 20th in transition points. Yeah, I think I brought this up. And honestly, I felt this in the first half. The transition offense was actually pretty good, pretty solid. You saw multiple pull-up transitions, uh, multiple triples out of transitions from the likes of DeAndre Hunter, from the likes of Darius Garland and others. The transition offense actually wasn't half bad, at least in the first half. Hated that they weren't able to put together a complete performance tonight, but it is what it is. Everbloom says so fucking bullshit. Yeah, Jawan Silva says trash ass team. Pack the season up, fellas, and fire Atkinson. Yeah, I can't agree with that, but I certainly see the emotion. I mean, I just can't. No, no, no. D Jackson H1K says this was a great comeback by the Cavs. Mitchell and Garland hit some very big important threes late in the game, but the free throws continue not to fall. This is pissing me off. Certainly something that continues to be an issue in terms of the free throws. It was nice to see Darius hit some timely shots in this game. Darius would finish with 21 points and 8 assists on 7 of 16 from the field, including 4 of 9 from three-point range. In terms of the fourth quarter overall, Darius Garland would finish with, well, he would finish 5 of 7 in the fourth quarter. So if we do have one complaint that about Evan Mobley not getting enough touches in the fourth, at least Darius Garland was kind of cooking in the fourth, going 5 of 7 from the field in the final frame. But the plus minus, man, bad plus minus for the likes of Darius Garland tonight. Minus 27. DeAndre Hunter was pretty bad in that regard too. Minus 31. Team worst, minus 31. And DeAndre would leave this game early, mind you. So that's yet another piece of injury news we'll probably see hit eventually. Hopefully he's okay, but we'll see. HJ17 Game says, I miss Jordan Knott's offense. Still wish the Cavs traded DG for a bigger defensive guard. Minus 27 is fucking brutal. Also, Mobley only shot the fourth being a putback while having 25 is dumb coaching. Yeah, again, 3 attempts, I believe, is what I stated in the fourth quarter Mobley got. And one of them was on that final attempt to try and tie the game up. So really it was just 2, basically. That's what I'm counting it. Should have been much more involved in the fourth quarter. As far as trading DG for a defensive guard, I think that's easier said than done. There are a couple out there that people were pushing for this offseason. One of them was Jalen Suggs. Honestly, I got to be honest with you, no, I would have not liked to have traded Darius Garland for Jalen Suggs. Another name that kept being floated out there was Drew Holiday. I know that was a big name for a lot of people. And I can't tell you, like, with the way that the Cavaliers are so dependent on true point guard play to get looks for Evan Mobley and others, especially dribble penetration and driving kicks and pick and roll overall, I don't think that would have worked out in the Cavs' favor either, because Donovan Mitchell has shown like he can operate as a point guard, but that's not where he is best suited. If this start to the season has shown us anything, it's that Don is not best suited to be somebody running the show in terms of overall orchestration. He can do it in spurts, but he's not a point guard. And I don't think some of the names that were being floated out there would have really helped some of the Cavaliers' biggest issues this season. That's just me being honest. If you disagree, you disagree. That's okay. Walter Johnson said, why did Mobley fade away on that last shot? You're 7 foot. What the fuck? There's 0.00 seconds, 0.6 seconds, 0.6 of a second left on the shot clock. I mean, no matter what was put up out there, it was not going to be pretty. They could have tried a lob to the rim, but Boston was probably going to be eyeing that to tie the game, and that's pretty risky too. I mean, yeah, we saw, what was it, Miami? Was it Miami that did it? I can't remember. I think it was Miami who beat the Cavs on a lob attempt at the rim and off a blown defense, a blown defense where nobody was watching for that, which that's a whole nother conversation for another day. But any attempt that was put up with 0.6 of a second was probably going to be ugly. So I don't really put that on Mobley at all. HJ17 Gaming says, Kenny refusing to play Bryant while getting killed on the boards is just dumb. Yeah. Honestly, I don't know how well he would have fared in this game with how Boston was getting out in transition the way that they were. I know that he played 6 minutes tonight and was -3 out there. He did pull down 2 rebounds, so hard to truly say how he would have fared, but it probably couldn't have hurt to put him out there. Everbloom says, "Why the fuck was Don inbounding the ball? Mobley should not have shot that shit." That's Kenny Atkinson, man. That's a Kenny Atkinson thing. I don't understand it. I think that your closers have proven to be Donovan Mitchell, and even go back to last season, Darius Garland was one of the clutchest players in basketball, but clearly his shot is still a work in progress right now, although he shot 4-9 from three-point distance. And to be fair, Mobley was cooking in this game, but again, they barely went to him in the fourth, so he cooled off. And with 0.6 of a second left on the clock, I'm just not really sure if it would have mattered. I think Donovan probably would have put up a cleaner look, but it's really hard to say. It really is really hard to say. Jawan says developing means losing. No, it doesn't. There are cases in which development and winning can happen. We saw it earlier this season when the Cavaliers were winning some games, and Jaylon Tyson and Sam Merrill were still playing above what we had seen from them in prior seasons. And so I don't think that's necessarily the truth. But I think when people hear the word development, they often attribute that or correlate that to losing, which, nah. I don't, but I can understand why people believe that this is not necessarily a great start to the season. Cold Z says three game losing streak feels like 10. It does, because the vibes are down right now, and I hate the fact that we continuously have to talk about some of these same things that have ailed the Cavs. But here we are. Here we are. Here we are. Hate to say it, man. Sucks. Drama City TV Clee 6755 says we need Drew Holiday and Jeremy Grant with Tyson and Tomlin. Again, the Cavaliers don't really have true point guard play. I like Drew Holiday. Drew Holiday has proven to be a title contributor, a championship winning piece. But I'm not quite certain if Drew Holiday would have been the best fit for this Cavaliers team. He is averaging 8.3 assists for the Portland Trailblazers this season in 12 appearances. He has been a positive impact for them. But I'm not quite sure, given his age. I mean, he's not young. This is a 35-year-old. This is a move you make if you're just punting on the future of Darius Garland. Because normally you don't trade a Darius Garland who is still pre-prime. Granted, he's coming off energy, pretty substantial one. At 25, you don't trade him for a player that is 10 years his senior unless you feel like there's nothing else. No, the ceiling has completely been touched by Darius. And honestly, I don't feel like that, but I think that people have gotten to that point with him because of the injury issues that he's sustained over his career. But I don't know if Drew Holiday would have been the right player to acquire. It sounds like the right type of move to make, but with his injury history, his age, and Donovan Mitchell's inability to run the point full time, I just don't know how much I would have loved that. But certainly would have been a fun addition if he could have found a way to get him here, because Drew's pretty awesome. I don't know. MJ202 says we doing trade talks already. You know I'm not. I'm just dispelling these things. I like Drew, but yeah, we're not trading for Drew Holiday. We're certainly not moving Darius Garland for names like this. Lena QT says this team shot 52 triples. They shot 20 of 52 tonight. That's 38.5%. Again, I've already expressed my gripes with the way that Evan Mobley was handled in the fourth quarter. The Cavaliers as a whole drew even with the Boston Celtics in terms of points in the paint, 42 all. And I thought that number could have been way more slanted to the Cavaliers side had they actually given Mobley more touches in the fourth. But that's just not how it went tonight. And I hate it, man. I absolutely hate it that it went the way that it did tonight. Absolutely hated that, but here we are. Sam says, I think Kenny tries too many things. And we already knew this was going to be a season in which they were going to be experimenting heavily, some of that by necessity because of who is and who isn't available. But yeah, there's some funky lineups being put out there. I will say that. Keedy Atkinson is not blameless here. There are some things out there that you really, really have to iron out and get a little bit more lineup consistency. And again, I know that injuries play a role in this too, because it's hard to have lineup consistency or rotational consistency when guys are constantly missing games. But the guys that you do have available, you got to be a little more consistent on what you're doing out there. I hate the fact that we're trying out some of these lineups that we are in pivotal moments of games. It sucks. It does, but we move. Hopefully we can rebound from this tomorrow, but we'll see, man. We'll see. I think that's probably a good place to leave it off at tonight. I don't want to beat a dead horse. I'm tired of talking about the same issues over and over again with this team. So, but I'm hoping that they're able to overcome them eventually. I believe that a lot of it is self-inflicted, which is the worst part. I think the effort is certainly something that is in your control. I think the Cavaliers have continued to showcase that they have the ability to turn on the proverbial switch. But the problem is that it's inconsistent. And you can't depend upon that happening game after game after game after game. Because genuinely, there are points throughout games where it's like, okay, the Cavaliers going on a avalanche, or they're pulling down rebounds where normally they wouldn't. But it's becoming too much of a consistent theme with this team, right? You can't rely on the proverbial switch flipping. You have to be able to consistently bring these good habits to the table. And that's one thing that I've really been echoing this entire season. I think that when you look at the entirety of the team as a whole, they're inconsistent as hell. There are certain players on the roster, don't mind you, that give 100% effort, 100% of the time that they're out there. I think Jaylon Tyson is one of these guys. I think that Naquan Tomlin, when he's gotten the opportunities, has shown that he's full steam ahead. You'll never see him being lackadaisical out there. I think that when Thomas Bryant has been given opportunities, he's somebody that shows no lack of effort out there. But as a unit, I don't know what to say, because we're seeing the same things play out again and again and again and again. And I just hope that continues to be something that they're working towards fixing. Because as of right now, it's an ugly watch. It truly is. That's not to say I don't have fun watching the Cavaliers, because I do. I know there are a lot of people out there that, I mean, if you listen to them talk, it sounds like they hate the team, or they're flat out hate watching the Cavs. That's not me. That's not why I watch this team, because there are moments and specific sequences in the game where you're legitimately having fun with it, and you enjoy the development that you've seen from specific pieces on this team. But I think that you gotta be able to look at things for what they are. And for what they are right now is a team that looks like they're just going through the motions. I think that's as simple as I can put it. In layman's terms, they are going through the motions. I think that the Cavaliers are capable. I think the Cavaliers are a very formidable team when they care. But that's a problem. It simply looks as if they don't care enough at times. And I'm not saying that that's every game. I'm not saying that's every quarter. I'm not saying that's every player. What I am saying is that what we get when we watch this team as of late is a bunch of inconsistency, and in many areas. It's not just effort, but a lot of these things do kind of come back to that. And if you want the support of the fan base, if you want the team, the fans to be all in and bought in, I think that you have to showcase a better effort on a night-to-night basis. it's impossible to expect the fans to be full steam ahead in their support for you if you're not showing that same level of effort that the fans are, right? And again, that sounds crazy, right? Because I mean, we're on the couch and they're in the games. But if you want me to be bought in, and I'm not saying just me, but if you want fans in particular to be bought in, you probably should showcase a better effort than what you are right now, because that is how you turn a lot of people off to the regular season. I mean, you guys know I've been a huge proponent of the regular season mattering. I still believe that this matters for a reason. The postseason obviously matters more, but the regular season matters because you got to win enough games to get to the playoffs, and the Cavaliers are trending in the wrong direction. But I still think that at this point in time, the Cavaliers themselves look like they don't necessarily want to be out there at times. And if for nothing else, the wins and losses, they're going to come, they're going to go. The team will lose games. It's going to happen. That's fine. I can live with a game in which they don't shoot well or don't perform well from the field. I can live with games where the shot is just not falling. But what I don't want to see and what I despise is the habits being just being bad, right? Bad effort, inconsistent effort, guys looking like they don't want to be out there at times. That's what I don't want to see. And so hopefully they're able to right the ship sooner or later. And it's not like I'm completely turned off to the Cavaliers or I don't believe in them, because I do. And I think that they have a high ceiling, but it's got to be when they care. It's, it's got to be when they care. That I don't know, man. I don't even know how to verbalize. You guys understand what I'm saying. They're a better team than they're playing, like than they're putting forth out there. The effort that they're giving out there, it's not screaming contender. And that's just me being honest. This is one of the most optimistic people you'll probably find in Cavs, social circles. But they're a better team than what we've seen. I refuse to give up on them. I'm not going to be on the trade anybody. I'm not there yet. And I honestly, if you think that they're going to make a big move this season, I'm sorry to tell you they're not. For better or worse, this is the team that we have right now. So just get used to it. Ty Jerome is not walking through those gates. Let him go. Isaac Okoro, he's gone. We got to move on. Got to turn the page. Still, hopefully this team is able to turn things around. And again, I think that's a great place to leave it off at tonight. As I always tell you guys, if you'd like to reach out to me, I can. It's Cavalier_pod on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and more. If you want to be out to this Cavalier Discord chat, you know what to do. Leave a rating, leave a review, send a screenshot of said review to itscavalier53@gmail.com, and I will send you an invite. If you want to support the show in a small but helpful way, consider becoming a member over on Patreon or YouTube. You can do so for as little as $1 a month. But even if you don't, your boy will still be here because I know that we both love this team, even when they hurt us. Go Cavs.